On the edge of Dallas-Fort Worth Metro, homeowners are suing a Bitcoin mining company that built a cooling system right next to their neighborhood. These families are saying the noise from the fans keep them up at night, give them headaches, and are causing ringing in their ears. Unfortunately, they're finding out the downside of living near a data center.
A story like that has to drag a home's value down, right? Well, that's what we assume too. And this isn't just something happening on the outskirts of the metroplex. The exact same type of facility is already approved right here in Denton County. And it's part of something much bigger. Texas is now the fastest growing data center market in the entire country, with one report projecting a 142% increase in data center activity here by the end of 2028. So we wanted to take a look at what this could mean for you and your property value. Does living near one of these centers actually hurt what your home is worth? Well, what we found really surprised us.
Denton already has two of these centers. One is called Core Scientific. It used to mine Bitcoin, and now it just got converted into a much bigger AI data center. The other one is smaller, and it's called Cumulus AI, approved recently only on 4 acres of land. The city even is leasing them that land for $20,000 a year for 10 years.
And Denton isn't the only place. Fort Worth already has 4 of these running, with 6 more proposed. Plano is home to one of the biggest data center companies in the country. Midlothian just landed one of Google's newest facilities at an $880 million project.
So let's get into the actual concerns. Noise is the biggest one, and for good reason, given that those families are living through on the south end of DFW. The constant humming is said to be broadcast through their walls and windows, and some are even blaming the noise for a host of physical and psychological health problems.
Then there's water. The 2 data centers down in San Antonio used over 400 million gallons in just 2 years, while that city was under strict watering restrictions. However, many centers are now moving to a closed-loop cooling system that doesn't require water.
Here's the honest truth. We don't know enough yet to say for certain, how all this is going to play out in the long term. But right now, there's a real sense of concern around all of these projects.
And anytime a home buyer feels concern about something near a property, even before it's proven, that perception alone can make them see the home as worth less.
Now, here's the interesting part. There's actual proof that these places can raise land prices nearby. Land near Dallas-Fort Worth that used to sell for around $40,000 an acre for farming has sold for $300,000 an acre or more when it's the kind of land that a data center wants. That's a lot of money for anyone holding on to a large piece of land.
And it cuts another way too. These companies are competing for the same big tracts that could have become new subdivisions. When home builders can't get that land, that means less new housing gets built, which can actually help protect what your home is already worth. But it can also mean higher prices for anyone trying to buy into the area, since fewer new homes are being built to meet demand.
So here's the real surprise. We went looking for the place with more data centers than anywhere else on Earth, 3 counties in Northern Virginia, to see what actually happened to home values there.
A team at George Mason University studied thousands of home sales and compared them to how close each one sat to a data center. The lead researchers said they could not find any statistical proof that living close to one of these data centers dragged a home's price down. In fact, homes closer to a data center sold for more, not less.
But here's the part most people leave out. The researchers themselves said it's not because people want to live near a data center. It's because these things tend to get built in places that already have strong roads, strong power lines, and also already sit near airports or highways, where home prices were already a little lower and the extra noise barely stood out.
And the same researcher also stated that Virginia's housing market is unusual. Homes have been in short supply there for many years, and that alone can hide problems that might show up differently somewhere like Dallas-Fort Worth.
So even without solid proof of a price drop, that doesn't mean noise or water concerns don't matter. As we said earlier, if a buyer feels uneasy about something near a home, that alone can change how they see it and what they're willing to pay, whether the worry turns out to be justified or not.
And one thing to consider going forward in regards to the footprint these data centers are creating, computers used to fill an entire room. Now one fits in your pocket. These companies lose money every time they waste power or water, so they have a real reason to keep getting better at using less of both as well as space. The version causing problems just south of Dallas today might not look like what gets built near us 5 years from now.
Let's bring this back to our own suburbs, because this looks differently depending on where you live. In Flower Mound, most of the land is already built on, so there's not a lot of room left for something like this to land close to an existing neighborhood. But it's something that we should keep our eye on.
Now, Northlake is a different story. The town already has a section set aside for this kind of industrial development, separate from its neighborhoods, and it's already landed a massive manufacturing project on that land. So it's not far-fetched that something like this data center could show up there next.
Argyle has stronger protections built into its rules, especially around large lots and tree preservation. So it's harder for something like this to go up next to an existing property. But the town is also actively courting big commercial projects elsewhere because it helps them rely less on property taxes.
So will a data center hurt your home's value? The honest answer is it depends. It depends on the kind of facility, how close it is, and what protections get put in place before it's ever approved.
If you already own a home in the area, here's what you can actually do. Pay attention when the city or town council talks about this. Find out where they stand and what protections they're putting in place before anything gets approved, not after.
And if you're looking to buy a home near a piece of vacant land, take a minute to find out what's actually planned for that. That empty field next door won't always stay empty. And just because it's zoned for a specific use now doesn't mean it can't get rezoned for a different use later.
It's always best to stay as informed as possible so you can take actions towards the best direction for you and your family.
Well, drop a comment below and let us know if you've seen anything like this happening near you. And be sure to check out the next video because there are other changes happening in some of the suburbs of Dallas that could also affect your home value as well.